SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run was directed by Tim Hill, and basically the story for this film is Gary gets snail-napped, and SpongeBob teams up with Patrick to try and go find him and see what is going on here with King Neptune and everything in the lost city of Atlantic City. And before I begin this review, I just want to give a big shout out to my brother and his friend Tommy. They really helped me out with my intro, and I can't thank them enough for that, so thank you guys so much. Their link to their YouTube channel is going to be in the description down below. But with all that said, let's get started talking about the good. And one thing that really surprised me about this movie was the themes in friendship, which I just wasn't expecting. This is probably the most that we get with SpongeBob and Gary. Like, it really delves into their friendship in like the first quarter of the film, or the first actually 10 to 20 minutes. Like, it really delves into their friendship, and you actually see that Gary likes SpongeBob quite a bit. So you really understand how heartbroken SpongeBob is when Gary goes missing. As well, in like the last kind of like 15 or 30 to 15 kind of minutes in this film, you kind of get some backstory with Squidward and Mr. Krabs and Sandy and Patrick and like SpongeBob, and all that friendship, just kind of like you see what happened when they were kids and how it delves into now. And you get that kind of an interesting dynamic with Squidward, the fact that he loves SpongeBob but he hates him at the same time, and I thought that was really interesting. Another thing I have to point out here is Patrick is my favorite SpongeBob character. He's always been the funniest to me. I've always loved Patrick, and him in this movie is awesome. He's super funny, and I absolutely loved his character. He had so many good jokes in this movie. And speaking of the comedy, it was pretty good in this movie. There was a couple of jokes that missed, obviously, but most of the jokes I thought were actually very, very good. Another thing I really enjoyed about this movie was just the well-rounded characters that you get with Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Sandy, and SpongeBob, and Patrick. Like I said, there's some good, well-rounded characters in here. There's some good themes about friendship, and it sticks true to the source material, unlike some other animation properties that we've gotten. But this one sticks true to the source material while being different at the same time. It doesn't have to be like a repeat of a SpongeBob episode. It can just be its own thing while sticking to that source material and staying true to that, which I thought was great. And another thing I really liked about this movie is just it's rewatchable. I would have no problem going to rewatch it again. But from there, let's move on to the mixed aspect. And the one mixed aspect here that comes to mind is the story. I like the fact that Gary gets taken and SpongeBob and Patrick go out to find him. It's a funny buddy road trip film that I thought was really good, and I really enjoyed that aspect to it, you know, whenever they're on the road trip and kind of cracking jokes once in a while and stuff like that. I thought that was great, and that story of going to find Gary was awesome. But the reason he goes missing I thought was so stupid. King Neptune, minor spoiler by the way guys, if you don't want any spoilers I'd say skip ahead to the bad, but King Neptune wants to take Gary the snail because snails have this slime that makes your face or your body look shiny. They're basically just moisturizer or like face wash. That's it. He wants to look pretty, so he took Gary the snail, and I'm like, dude, that's a little bit dumb, and I just didn't really like that. Like, that was like toddler level of script writing. That was just, I really did not like the way they did that. So while there is some good stuff with SpongeBob and Patrick, and I like their side of the story, the King Neptune side of the story I just did not care for. But from there on, let's move on to the bad here. And something that comes to mind here, guys, is going to be the musical numbers. I was not expecting the musical numbers to be here, and one kind of comes in here during the middle of the film. And speaking of the middle of the film, it kind of loses a bit of footing. It didn't really know what it wanted to do for its second act, I felt like. So it just kind of throw in this really weird scene where you get these celebrity cameos. It's a dream sequence, and then there's a musical number, and I'm just like, what's going on here? I mean, I knew that we have Keanu Reeves because we saw him in the trailer, but then there's even other celebrity cameos. I mean, it's kind of cool to just see them. It's like, hey, it's that guy, but really, it's just not very, you know, enjoyable to just look at a musical number, and this scene has no purpose in the movie, and it goes on for like 15 minutes, and so, you know, I just didn't really enjoy that, and just the musical numbers in general, didn't really enjoy. And as I said, the comedy in this film can suffer a bit. You know, not all the jokes land, so that's also a negative. And a lot of just the second act just lost a bunch of footing, but luckily it gained it back in the third, and it stuck the landing for me. So for final thoughts for this movie, guys, SpongeBob Sponge on the Run was a very enjoyable watch. I really had a lot of fun with doing it. There's some good humor. I love Patrick. I love all the characters, and I like their backstory and the fact that they're all well-rounded in here. Like, even Plankton is well-rounded in here. So I enjoyed that, too. So all in all, this movie, it's credited to the source material with all the characters and everything, and it feels like an extended SpongeBob episode, but with awesome animation and just an overall really, really fun movie. There's some issues I have with the story, and there's some weird stuff in the second act, but all in all, guys, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I do recommend you see it. So with all that said, I'm going to give SpongeBob Sponge on the Run a B. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Stay tuned for more reviews coming very soon. I'm going to be looking at Raya and the Last Dragon. I'm going to be looking at Chaos Walking, Cherry. I'm going to be reviewing the first Godzilla movie up to Godzilla vs. Kong. So a lot of reviews coming out to you guys very soon. Hope you enjoy these videos. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, comment down below, what did you think of SpongeBob Sponge on the Run? Did you enjoy it, or were you kind of in the middle, or did you just not like it at all, or are you just not a fan of SpongeBob? Comment down below, let me know. And as always, have a great day. See you guys.